Hey, it's Sol, and this is part 1 of my guide that's going to take you through patch 8.2, The Rise of Azshara. By the end of this series, you're going to be more than prepared to take on Queen Azshara and everything else that this patch has to throw at you. Here's the slight problem though. There's so much to cover in the patch that I have to split it into separate guides, so be sure to subscribe to the channel so you know when each part is released. And of course, please show some support by sharing these guides with others. I'm going to be covering as much as I can, given the information that we have, but keep in mind that we're still getting more PTR builds and things could change over time, so please check the description or the comments if there are any significant updates that you should know. And finally, just kidding. Let's just get right into it and take you through part 1 of the Rise of Azshara guide, what to do before the patch. 8.2 is going to give players a lot of long-term goals to hit. Some of you may want to hit the ground running, while others just don't want to fall too far behind. The last thing that you want to do is suddenly run into a situation where you have to play catch-up, so let's take care of what's within our power now, and get you up to speed. Complete the Battle for Azeroth Pathfinder Part 1 on your main character. That's going to mean exploring all the zones, getting to Revered with the 8.0 factions, completing 100 world quests, and finishing all the major zone storylines along with the war campaign. If you want to fly, and thus get through 8.2 and 8. Whatever content faster, you're going to want to get this achievement out of the way, because your daily routine after the patch, it's not going to have you spending all that much time in these 6 zones that you've been goofing around in up till now. You're going to be farming rep really hard, but we're going to cover that in a future video. Next, how's your Heart of Azeroth doing? You're going to want it to be as close to 50 as you can get it before the patch drops. If it's already at 50, well, that's what you get for farming. No, I'm just kidding. You just have a little bit less to do. The reason you want it to be at max level, at least for your main, is because more levels are going to unlock for your Heart of Azeroth when the patch comes out. Later on, getting to level 55 and then 65 is going to unlock features that I'm going to get into much later. I want to at least reassure you that even if you're not that close to 50 right now, you don't have to worry about missing out on really cool stuff. But whether you're 50 or not, if you've already hit Exalted with all 6 reputations, you might want to hold on to as much rep and Paragon boxes for some solid starting artifact power. So here's what I mean. For each of the reputations, you can have 1 Paragon box on hand and 19,999 out of 10,000 reputation. So the idea here is that on day 1, you open up a box, then you do a turn-in for another box, and then you earn 1 more rep point for a 3rd box. If you're able to do this with all 6 reps, that's going to equate to 45,000 artifact power. But you also might want to make sure that you don't open these boxes until at least 1 more artifact knowledge level kicks in, so you get the most bang for your buck. So depending on when Blizzard decides to do it, you might not want to open up all these boxes day 1 of the patch. Just keep an eye out, or otherwise come back here and I should have an update in the description or in the comments. Ultimately, this isn't going to take you light years ahead of the competition, but it is a good start, especially if your heart is already maxed out. If you're a rep farming fiend though, you might want to do this for your alts, and then just wait until you're ready to really start working on said alts, because then you'll have a couple of weeks of artifact knowledge to give you that, even more of an additional boost. Speaking of alts, you might want to get your alts to a reasonable item level. By reasonable, I'm thinking that if you can at least get them to the Darkshore Warfront and get them a mostly complete set, then they're going to be decently ready enough to handle Nazjatar. At least at the moment, on the PTR there's a way that you can funnel account-bound upgrade tokens to help your main or your alts get item level 430 gear fairly quickly. There's a chance that this doesn't end up turning out to be as lucrative as it is on the PTR, so I hope to have more for you when I get to later parts of the guide, but if this stays in place, the more alts that you have to help funnel upgrade tokens, the better. On a similar vein, you'll want to make sure that you have as much stuff to turn in or open on week 1 of the patch. So this is also going to include your weekly PvP and your Mythic Plus chest to open, as well as a treasure map mission that's ready to go. Completed missions for Azerite or rep wouldn't hurt either. So basically I'm saying pile up as much of these turn-ins before the patch. If you're really serious about rep, you're going to be doing a fair share of pet battles over on Nazjatar and Mechagon. Now I'm pretty much a dimwit when it comes to pet battles. So I'm going to provide links below to a few Wowhead comments that detail just how they completed the upcoming pet battle dailies. Not only do they give rep, but the first time you complete them, you'll receive a follow-up quest item that you turn in for an additional 250 rep each, which will save you hours of farming. So check out the description above for the Wowhead links. Right now I have 4, there might be more as time goes on. Alright, for you profession lovers out there, you'll want to max out your profession levels. 8.2 is adding new recipes, and I'm not just talking about the usual upgrades to those starter max level gear and the fun stuff like Blingtron. I mean, don't get me wrong, those things are really cool, but I'm talking about new consumables like food, flasks, and potions, and these have very noticeable upgrades. In light of this, you'll also want to consider slowing down production of your current consumables so you can stockpile resources for later, because the new recipes are going to use a mix of both old and new materials. Expulsum is still going to be a thing, so keep that stuff coming through either regular scrapping or world quests when they offer it. As for you gatherers, you're going to make a lot of money, so hang out in the zones a lot and just get yourselves ready. You also want to get your followers up to speed. If you haven't noticed by now, throwing a resource tracker for goods like fish or herbs is the way to make some pretty easy gold in BFA. If not for the instant gratification, it's the gold that you make by selling said goods or by saving gold because you're using them for your profession. Sometime in 8.2, probably very early on, you're going to get a quest that will unlock a 6th follower to help you make that much more gold. So get ready to put them to work, and maybe have some follower equipment ready when they level up a little bit for some extra credit. 8.2 is going to bring a host of dailies for you to enjoy, including some puzzle-based ones. One in particular is lifted from the Blingtron engineering toy from Legion, which presents you with a bunch of shapes to untangle. If you don't have the toy, it's not all that hard to make or to just buy, but it might be worth giving this a little bit of practice before you get to the real thing. That's it for the guide, so stay tuned for upcoming sections as I cover the goals that you should be striving for in the earlier days of the patch. Don't forget to like the video if it was useful and to stick around for more of this and all things Warcraft. I'll see you next time. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.